Hi, my name is Mustafa Chouaib, and my program is engineering, and my E is enrollment. And my subject today is going to be solid waste management. My essential question is, why is Lebanon so under-equipped and underprepared when it comes to waste management, and what are the modern standards of solid waste management? The reason why I picked this topic is because I'm really passionate about Lebanon, and when I visited there this past summer, I noticed, especially in my village, Sharia, I noticed that there was a lot of garbage on the roadways, on the side of the road, and at the drop-off zones where the people of the village would drop off their garbage. I noticed that stray cats would get into the garbage and tear it apart, and there'd be garbage all over the ground. And some of these drop-off zones would be next to houses and next to places where children played. And it was a very egregious sight because of the fact that not only was this noxious to the children's health and to the people of the village's health, but this is also noxious to the environment and could really harm the environment. So when I saw it, I thought that, hey, this is something that needs to be reformed. I wonder what it would take to reform it. And for that reason, I'm going to be researching it in my research paper. So my first subtopic is basic information on my village. And the first detail in it is basic social and infrastructural information. So for the social information, it's going to be information that has to do with the population of the village, with the size of the village, with the amount of households and houses and buildings in the village, and how much waste the village produces. And for the infrastructural information, this is going to be information regarding the services that are provided for the people of the village. And for current companies and organizations that work in waste management in the area, this is the second detail. This is really going to be companies and organizations that do recycling projects in the area, that do waste management projects in general, see if there's anything we could learn from them, and see how they do their waste management, see if there's any way that we could kind of get tips from them and implement it for the Sharia municipality waste management system. And for the third detail, it's current waste management process. So this is gonna be I'm gonna be researching the current waste management process in my village of Sharia, and I'm going to be checking and seeing how do the citizens, what are the responsibilities of the citizens when it comes to the waste management process? Where are they supposed to take the garbage to, and then how's the garbage picked up and where is it taken to? And I'm gonna be researching that to see what is wrong with it and then see how it could be improved. And this brings me to the second subtopic. The second subtopic is Lebanese laws and enforcement. So the first detail is waste management responsibilities in the government. So this is I'm going to be researching whether waste management is a responsibility of the national government or if it's a responsibility of the municipal government. And if it is a responsibility of the municipal government, how does the national government factor into it? How does the Ministry of the Environment factor into it? And if it is the municipality's role to play to do solid waste management in their village, then why are they lacking? And can we vindicate them because of the fact that unfortunately there's a lack of a national government present in Lebanon, and a lack of caring from them? But that brings us to our second detail, which is littering laws and penalties. So in the past, in 2018, a new law was well, was released from Parliament, and this was a solid waste management law. Its main thing was banning open burning of garbage, and it does cover littering laws and the penalties for littering. So I'm going to be reading more about that law that got passed, and I'm going to be reading it specifically about the littering laws and penalties and ways that we can penalize people who break the littering laws. And the third detail is solid waste management incentives. So this is a complete opposite of the second one. This is going to be ways that we could incentivize citizens for playing their role in the solid waste management plan and making it easier on the municipality as well as on themselves and making their village a better place and ways that we could incentivize it. And the third subtopic is waste management pickup logistics. So the first detail is I'm going to be researching organization on citizen side. So this is going to have to do with separating out their garbage into what is waste, what's compostable waste, what's recyclable waste, and then all other waste. And this is going to be hard to implement without, like I said in the past subtopic, incentivizing the citizens or possibly penalizing them for not following the rules in that situation. So that's the organization on the citizen side, and then from there, we're gonna go on to the second detail, which is pick up from homes. So this I'm gonna be researching uh, ways to make it efficient to pick up from homes, or whether it would be just a better idea to have the same drop-off zones, and which one would be more efficient, which one would be easier on the citizens as well as easier on the municipality. And for the third detail is transport to landfill. So I'm going to be researching kinds of vehicles, which vehicles make it easy as well as cheap and efficient to transfer the waste from the homes to the landfill. And for the fourth subtopic, it's waste disposal process. So the first detail is disposal of compostable waste. So this is going to be disposal of biodegradable paper bags. It's going to be disposal of food scraps. It's going to be disposal of animal manure from the local farmers and ranchers in the village. And the point of doing the compostable waste, the reason why I want to research it is because this makes the bottom line and the bottom line of the stuff that actually enters and stays in the landfill permanently smaller. So researching compostable waste would be a huge benefit uh, to this project. And the second detail is disposal of non-recyclable waste. So as I mentioned before, there's going to be a bottom line of just waste that isn't possible to recycle or compost any further and needs to be processed uh, either through incineration or just squeezing it down and compressing it. And that brings us to the third detail, which is space conservation methods. So as I mentioned earlier, the bottom line or the waste that can't be recycled or composted needs to be put in the landfill. But to make sure that we can keep the landfill from filling up very fast. We have to make sure that we keep that bottom line very small, and that's to do with space conservation. So if we can uh, research ways to make sure that we could conserve as much space as possible to make sure that it fills up very slowly. And the fifth subtopic is recycling benefits and process. So the first detail in that is recycling plastic. I'm going to be researching whether there's organizations in the area that already recycle plastic, and if not, what does it take to recycle plastic? Could it just be shipped as plastic waste to another country and recycled there, or can it be recycled domestically in Lebanon? And if so, how can we benefit from this other than removing from what goes to the landfill? And this takes me to the second detail, which is recycling metal. So this is really going to have to do with scrap metal, which is easily recycled just by selling it to scrap dealers and scrap yards. But another big part is tin cans and aluminum cans. What are ways that we could recycle aluminum and tin and copper and stuff like that to make sure that it's recycled and isn't considered part of the bottom line that gets left in the landfill. And for the final detail, it's going to be recycling paper. So for this, I'm going to be researching a lot about paper repulping plants and ways to make to repulp paper and whether it would be possible to possibly make a small scaled version of that just to fit the needs of the village and how much it would cost and basic stuff like that. And this brings me to the sixth subtopic, the business side of solid waste management. And in this one, I'm going to be researching the first detail, which is services provided to the people of the village. So this is going to be basic services which could be provided to the people of the village. And this might be methane gas, which is released from the landfill. We could trap it and then send it through gas lines to maybe a kitchen in the village that could have a gas stove which runs on the methane that's produced from the landfill, so that brings down the greenhouse gas emission from the landfill and lets it and gives the methane an actual purpose, uh, as well as the compost. Like I said earlier, there's compostable waste that we can use to turn into compost, and that compost could be given to local farmers in the village. And this also brings us to the second detail, which is ways that services that we could provide to people outside of the village. And this is the same thing with the compost. We could sell compost to other neighboring villages, and we could also sell, maybe if I do more research about the repulping plant, it could expand to maybe selling recycled paper bags to neighboring villages as well. And this brings me to the third detail, which is goods produced, like I said. So this covers methane, which is produced by the landfill, recycled plastic pellets, or pulped paper, which could be turned into recycled paper bags, the compost from the compostable waste. Really, there's lots of possibilities for this, and for this reason, I'm going to be researching this to see if this might be a legitimate good idea. And that was the final detail of the last subtopic. And really, after going through all this research, I realized how big of a commodity uh, solid waste management was in a good solid waste management system, how good it is to have. And another thing that I realized is that although we could point the finger at the municipality for not taking care of it, we could sort of vindicate them because of the fact that there's a lack of a national government which is taking care of and funding solid waste management plans like these. So for the purpose of this research, I wanted to see what it actually takes to do a reform and how much it costs, and see if maybe it's actually a possible solution that could be done by the municipality of my village of Sharia. And thank you all for watching. I'm really looking forward to writing the paper after researching this topic further and researching the subtopics and details further. And I really hope you get to read my paper as well. So again, I thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day.